The Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs.
She said it then became clear it was the opportunity to either speak up about the trauma she's experienced and she'll be recovering from for the rest of her life, or just kind of remain silent. So she chose to speak up.
It's hard to believe, but another major name in the entertainment industry has just found themselves in the middle of a serious legal storm. Sean Diddy Combs, once hailed as a pioneer in music, is now facing a whirlwind of accusations that could leave his legacy in tatters. If you thought things were bad after Cassie Ventura's explosive lawsuit, wait until you hear what's come out now. Dawn Richard, a former member of Danity Kane, has filed her own lawsuit, and the claims she's making about Diddy are nothing short of shocking. But the real kicker, this is only the beginning.
But we've also heard that there's some secret lawsuit going on in New York City as it relates to Diddy too. I don't know.
Dawn Richard is no stranger to the limelight. After all, she was handpicked by Diddy himself to be a part of Danity Kane, a group formed on his hit reality show Making the Band. But according to Richard, what looked like a dream opportunity on the surface quickly turned into a nightmare behind the scenes. In her lawsuit, she paints a disturbing picture of Diddy's behavior over nearly a decade, accusing him of being manipulative, abusive, and downright dangerous.
With this newest lawsuit, this would probably only expedite or increase the amount of allegations and potential witnesses who could testify against Sean Combs.
Richard claims that Diddy's actions went far beyond the occasional power trip or harsh critique. No, what she's alleging is something far more sinister. She says that Diddy routinely took advantage of his position of power to subject her to humiliating and demeaning treatment, all while dangling the carrot of career success in front of her. It's the kind of behavior that's been whispered about in the music industry for years, but rarely has it been brought to light in such a public and detailed manner.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy, man. But have you been hearing any news about him getting indicted?
For those unfamiliar, Richard's lawsuit isn't just about personal grievances. She's making it clear that this is about holding Diddy accountable for. What she says is a long pattern of abusive behavior that extends beyond her, and the timing of this lawsuit is no coincidence. Richard herself has admitted that watching Cassie Ventura come forward with her own accusations against Diddy gave her the courage to speak out. Cassie, of course, settled her case within a day, but her claims against Diddy were just as explosive, including everything from physical harm to threats and emotional manipulation.
I saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
But let's get back to Richard's claims, because there's something else. She alleges that Diddy not only groped her, but also retaliated against her whenever she tried to stand up for herself. In one particularly disturbing incident, Richard says that Diddy locked her inside a car for 2 hours after she confronted him. That's right, he allegedly locked her in a freezing cold vehicle with no way to get out, just because she had the audacity to push back against his behavior. And that's only scratching the surface.
Is he controlling? Yes, he is. Will he put his hands on a female? Yes, he will. Would he put his hands on a male producer or anything? Yes, he will.
According to the lawsuit, Richard's nightmare with Diddy started as early as 2009 and lasted until her career with him ended abruptly in 2012. During that time, she claims that Diddy would enter her dressing room without warning, invade her personal space, and make inappropriate remarks about her body. He would allegedly make these jokes, which weren't funny at all, about how he could guess her bra size or offer to pay for enhancements. These comments weren't just inappropriate, they were meant to demean and remind Richard who was in charge.
This lawsuit is so long, it's so many things that, he's claiming Diddy did.
Now, here's where things get even more twisted. Richard's lawsuit also claims that she wasn't the only one dealing with Diddy's behavior. She says she witnessed some incredibly disturbing situations involving other women, including his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Richard recalls multiple instances where Diddy allegedly lost control, including one time when he threw a hot pan at Cassie during an argument over breakfast. Yes, a pan because apparently eggs that weren't cooked right were enough to send Diddy into a rage. According to Richard, Diddy would berate and even physically harm Cassie, all while expecting everyone around him to stay quiet.
I said I'm 99% sure he's going to be indicted because 99% of grand juries end in indictments.
I told you he had some problems coming.
Speaking of staying quiet, Richard also claims that Diddy used threats to keep people in line. She says that when she tried to intervene and tell Cassie to leave him, Diddy got wind of it and wasn't happy. He reportedly told Richard that he had the power to make people disappear, a not so subtle reminder that crossing him could have serious consequences. It's hard to imagine the fear someone in her position must have felt working with one of the most powerful men in the industry while knowing he could turn on you at any moment.
With this newest lawsuit, this would probably only expedite or increase the amount of allegations and potential witnesses who could testify against Sean Combs.
But even as these accusations pile up, Diddy's legal team is pushing back hard. His attorney, Erica Wolf, has come out swinging, calling Richard's claims completely fabricated and accusing her of trying to cash in on their long-standing friendship. Wolf points out that if things were as bad as Richard says, why did she continue working with Diddy for so many years? And why did she agree to be a part of the Making the Band reboot in 2020? These are fair questions, but they also overlook the complexities of abusive relationships, especially in an industry where the lines between personal and professional are often blurred.
I think industry talk, there's a lot of people who, who have worked for him. There's been stories around, which is, not necessarily unusual.
Richard's attorney, Lisa Bloom, isn't having any of it. In her statement, she says that women shouldn't have to choose between their careers and their dignity. She makes a strong case for why Richard, like many other women, stayed in a toxic work environment for as long as she did. It's not easy to walk away when your livelihood is on the line. Bloom argues that the real issue here isn't why Richard stayed, but why Diddy thought it was acceptable to treat her and others the way he allegedly did.
Don't think he don't know. You pay those lawyers to know. Those lawyers know what he's gonna beat, and those lawyers know what he ain't gonna be.
And let's not forget Dawn Richard isn't the only person who has come forward against Diddy. She's actually the 7th woman to file a lawsuit accusing him of similar behavior. And it's not just women, either one man has also come forward with his own allegations. So while Diddy's team continues to insist that these claims are all about money, it's hard to ignore the growing list of people who say they've been harmed by him in one way or another.
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as this seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in.
But wait, it gets worse. On top of the lawsuits, there's another massive blow to Diddy's image. Just recently, he lost a case in Michigan where he was ordered to pay a jaw-dropping $100 million. The details of this case are murky at best, with Diddy's legal team claiming it's all based on a fraud. The man who filed the suit, Derek Lee Cardello Smith, is currently incarcerated and has a long history of taking legal action. He alleges that he was assaulted by Diddy back in 1997 at a party. Diddy's team says he doesn't even know this man, but a default judgment was handed down after Diddy failed to appear in court. Whether this case has any real merit or not, one thing is clear: Diddy's legal troubles are far from over.
The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who...
And that brings us to the big question on everyone's mind. What does this all mean for Diddy's future? With so many lawsuits piling up and a growing number of people coming forward with disturbing allegations, it's starting to look like Diddy's time might finally be running out. Legal experts are already weighing in, and some are saying that Diddy could be facing serious criminal charges in the near future. One attorney even went so far as to compare Diddy's situation to that of Jeffrey Epstein or R. Kelly. According to this expert, if the allegations are proven in court, Diddy could end up spending the rest of his life behind bars.
This, along with Cassie's lawsuit that you talked about earlier that was settled, reads a lot like what we saw in the R. Kelly case in the EDNY.
Of course, nothing has been proven yet, and Diddy is fighting hard to clear his name. But let's be honest, the sheer number of accusations is hard to ignore. And while Diddy's lawyers continue to claim that all of this is part of a money grab, the fact remains that some of these allegations date back decades. Even if some of the claims turn out to be exaggerated or false, the pattern of behavior being described is enough to make anyone think twice about Diddy's character.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
To make matters even more complicated, Diddy's name has been linked to a number of other controversies over the years. For example, rumors have swirled for years about his connection to the 1996 demise of Shakur. While no solid evidence has ever emerged to directly tie Diddy to that tragedy, some still believe that he played a role in the East Coast-West Coast rivalry that led to Shakur's demise. And let's not forget about the other incidents of violence and criminal behavior that have followed Diddy throughout his career. From nightclub altercations to questionable business deals, it seems like drama has always been just around the corner for the music mogul. Now, the real question is, will Diddy's legacy survive all of this? He's built an empire, no doubt about that. From his early days at Bad Boy Records to his more recent ventures in fashion and media, Diddy has always been a man who knows how to make things happen. But can he outrun these accusations? Can he continue to deny and deflect? Or will the truth, whatever that may be, finally catch up with him?
And in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry.
Experts are divided on what might happen next. Some think that Diddy will settle the remaining lawsuits, just like he did with Cassie Ventura, and hope that the public eventually forgets. Others think this could be the beginning of the end for him. With federal agents reportedly investigating him for more serious crimes, including trafficking, it's entirely possible that Diddy could be arrested in the coming months. If that happens, all bets are off. He could be looking at years in prison. And if the most serious allegations are proven, it's hard to see how he could ever recover. One thing's for sure, this is a story that's far from over. As more details come out, we're likely to hear from more people who've crossed paths with Diddy over this case. Will they corroborate the claims being made, or will they rush to his defense? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear: Diddy's carefully crafted image as a music mogul and party king is quickly unraveling. So what do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for Sean Diddy Combs? Or will he manage to fight off these claims like he has in the past? And what about the music industry as a whole? How many more stories like this are just waiting to come out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates on this and other breaking stories. See you in the next video.